Ma'am, you're on mute.
Okay. To the Supreme God, to my spiritual teacher, to all the spiritual teachers, holy masters, all the saints, holy angels, spiritual helpers, and all the great ones, we humbly invoke for your divine guidance, divine love, divine blessings, for illumination, for divine oneness, divine bliss, divine help, divine health, and divine protection. We thank you in full faith. Okay, so let's start the class. Today is class 8. We have only 10 classes in every season. So I just thought we'll do some revision from now on. Okay. So if you'll have any questions, maybe I can start with that. Did anybody have any questions? No questions? Okay.
But ask this question, maybe the difficulty, like with kids now implementing all this surrender and acceptance becomes very difficult. Like even though we know we should surrender mainly instead of regarding my son, I keep getting complaints about my son from the school. So I normally talk to Manju, I whenever I talk to her, I used to tell her this is what happening, and we normally discuss about the teaching of yours, and then she always say I will say I'd be that day I was telling I wanted to check with Smita ma'am on how to take this, and she was telling you have to tell them what you wanted to tell, but without expectation that they will do it or not, and then you keep accepting and surrendering. But for me, that with other things, it is very easy. For example, if something happens, I think okay, God in me wanted to experience this. That's why it is happening. So that is happening easily for me in all other zones. But when it comes to parenting or with my son, it is very difficult. I don't know how to take about it.
See, the reason why we are here is for it is called Runa Mukti. So there is a lot of debts that we have. Runa means debts. So we have a lot of that. This give and take is there. As long as we have desires in the world, no, there will always be bondage. And today we are not in a state where we say, oh, I don't have any desires for the world. I don't have any desires in the world. I have desire only for God. That is the destination. But then, I mean, we are cultivating that. We are cultivating that through our karma yoga concept. In the sense, karma yoga means I'm going to do everything for God, which means I'm going to do my duty, but I'm going to do it for the love of God. And I believe that whatever God has given me is some blessing from Him, some prasadam. I took the class today, hoping that nobody will come. There is somebody on the door. Yeah. Yeah. Class. um, I had told my fruits guy, in case you want to come, you come before 2 o'clock, by 2 o'clock, and after 5 o'clock. He still came at 3 o'clock. Anyway, no problem. God's wish. So basically, what I'm trying to tell is we are doing our duty, and we are doing. I mean, as a mother, what is your duty? To share what you think is right. Of course, we may not be at a level where we have read the Shastras and we have seen lots of examples of mothers, great mothers who have been quoted in these Shastras, Bhagavata or Ramayana or Mahabharata. We may know about them, but we have not read it enough or heard it enough to be able to practice like them. So, in general, let's say we are at a level where we are just following some things that we think is coming out of cultivated habit. So even if we say going by that, whatever is right, we may not be able to get every desire fulfilled. You may have a desire that he should listen to you. But if he listens to you, your ego may be asking that he has to listen to me, because the whatever you're asking um, may not be very aligned with your karmic cleansing. If he gives you that happiness, your ego will be very happy, but the God in you may not be happy. Rather, it may not be very karmically right for you. Why? Because there is a lesson. Your attachment with respect to the sun may not go. You may not be able to see the God inside your sun, or your attachment for the sun might continue to keep increasing. Let's say today he satisfies one desire. Tomorrow he will satisfy one more desire. You are asking him one more, one more, one more, one more. Where is the end to that? You may think, oh, I'm asking something basic. Let him study. Let him behave properly in the school. I'm asking for too much. These are basic things, right? You might say. But when we are not getting those basic things from our POSE, it means that we don't deserve it yet. In some way, like I was saying in all these classes, when we start accepting that, first, when we, let's say, when we start studying any subject, let's say we go to school. In school, what does the teacher tell? She teaches us some new concept. We don't know about that concept. So what will we do? Okay, she is my teacher and I'm here in the class as a student. So I'm going to listen to whatever she's saying and I'm going to understand and I'm going to believe it. So first, belief is the one that is very important. So then what will happen? You will start to practice all the sums or anything that she gives in the school. So every day you come back home and then you start practicing those problems. Slowly, slowly, as you become very good with that subject or that concept that she's teaching, what will happen is you will start getting that innate understanding of where all this problem has been applied in real life. But do we get that in the beginning of the class itself? We don't. We will slowly get it as we are starting to become pakka in that subject, which is what everybody has, whether parents also. Initially, when your parents taught you some concept, like let's say cooking, you may just be looking at the recipe and just putting everything. But over a period of time, as you keep following the recipe and keep doing the same thing, over a period of time, you'll get that innate intelligence of, oh, what if I put this new ingredient? It'll get this flavor. You'll have that in your mind, how to cook a dish nicely. And nobody may have taught you how to do that, but then you'll just eat some food in a hotel or something, and you'll be able to recreate that dish at home. How? Because of that constant practice that you've been putting into the same thing. So what does it mean? Wherever you put the energy, wherever you put your focus in the right way, in a creative way, in a positive way, that energy grows. Wherever you put your focus in a negative way, that energy also grows. So there is only one concept on earth. Wherever you focus, you'll get that. The more you focus, you'll get better at that. If you focus in negative things, you'll get better at negative things. If you focus on sadness, you'll get better in sadness, which means you'll right from only thinking, you'll start into crying, you'll start probably going into depression and so on. So whatever you focus on, you'll become more. So what the whole problem is, the whole thing about the samsara is, the more you focus on that and the more you're attached to that and you're asking more happiness from that, it will only become more. So in this acceptance journey, first, when we are starting to follow acceptance, we have to follow diligently. We may not know how it's working. We may not know why it's working. We have to just believe some concept and we have to start walking that path with that trust. Then what will happen is, slowly, slowly, God will give you that innate intelligence of helping you understand what you see in your son is also inside you. You will get thoughts, you will get ideas of where exactly you are also like him. He may be like that in school. You may be like that in other areas of your life. You may not be realizing that. You will realize that. But today you may not realize that, because that acceptance only has not come. That what he's doing is your nature. He's showing you your nature, which is why we are accepting it. We are going on the path of acceptance first, because the whole world is our reality, which means it's a mirror image of what is already there within us. But how can we say, see, I was very good at school, appa. I was very disciplined. I always used to listen to the teachers. I used to come back and do my homework. Maybe in school you were like that, but in other areas where world life is a school, you may not be like, you may be like him. But where am I like that? If you have to see, you have to wait for that acceptance to become pakka in that area. It is like lot of, first you should like force yourself to say, no, whatever I see in them is also inside me. That is why God is showing it to me. That is why, that is why. So that is why the only thing that you can do at that time is tell him. But can you expect him to change unless you change? Unless that acceptance becomes pakka in you, because it's an energy. He's a reflected image. How will a mirror show you what is already not you? So we have to wait. That is the patience that we have to bring in. Why? I mean, it is a forced patience. Initially, it's a forced patience. I have to apply this because at some point I know that that is a thing. And we have to allow that to happen. We have to allow that to happen. So we have to allow what we don't like to happen. Why? Because it's a reflected image. We don't like it. But we have to allow that to happen. When can I say we are not allowing? We are not allowing when we are trying to force them to change. We are trying to tell them, and we are also expecting them to follow, which means we are becoming angry. So many things. I mean, it is not very easy to practice, but it comes with day to day, day to day, day to day. We have to keep remembering what the teacher told. So that is when we will remember how to practice and all, no? So like that only we have to keep applying, keep applying, keep applying. At some point, it becomes a true nature of us. It'll become like a second nature to remember and to also apply. Then what will happen is slowly, automatically he will shift. Because you have started to accept it, no? So that is when he will start to suddenly get something in his life, and he will see somebody, some situation or event will come in his life where automatically he will get that discipline and change. With children, with husband, we are dealing with a very, very deep-rooted cage that we have, all of us. It is a big cage. So it will take a period of time for that to go. And he may become good at school, discipline and all of that. But you may see some dosha in some other area. So they are here in our life to show multiple areas of our life, not just one area. And they are here to constantly, if there is one child who's a very strong teacher in your life, whole life they will give you some challenge or the other. In Mahabharata, in some of the Shastras, Bhagavata and all, they say that a person who was your enemy in past life can also be your son and your daughter or your husband in this life. So that enmity at least gets into attachment. From attachment, eventually through knowledge, it will become God. But initially, that hatred was there. But at least now it is going to become attachment. It may be imperfect, but it is still going to be attachment. See, why do we go and then want our children to be happy? But they are not. They seem to be happy. But do we think they are happy? We are not happy. So they are still giving us unhappiness with that energy. So that energy has to be fixed. You have to break that chain, that karmic chain you have to break. How? By first believing that my energy is reflected outside. It is not them. So you have to subtract your son from the equation, and you should say, okay, whatever I see in him is already in me. Now you might ask, how do I deal with it practically in life? Maybe he is He got up late. One day he's getting up late to school and he's not even going in time. Then the teacher is coming back to me and saying, if he keeps doing this, then we have to give notice. I'm just giving an example. So at that time, you should keep telling, force him to get up, knock his door, whatever you have to do, you do. But don't do it with that agitation in mind. Because for that practically all those things to happen, you may have to do some of these things. Initially, this is how we will be. That we will go, initially we will go and then we will shout, do this. Why are you not understanding? All that agitation will be there. Then next stage is, we will do all that as a mother, but agitation will not be there. Okay, I'm going to keep doing. I know that result of my action is going to come and become favorable only when I deserve it. So that journey to constantly become deserving should be far more stronger within us than changing them, because changing them is automatic. If you change the channel on the TV, channel will automatically change. First, we have to click that button. That button is inside us only. So initially that next time that agitation will not happen. Third step is total surrender. You're saying it's okay. It's okay. I'm not going to wake him up. That it'll see, in every transition from one stage to another stage, it will be difficult because you've become used to one stage, no? So get to the next stage will be slightly challenging, but then that also is a practice. In this whole life, there is nothing like I'm not doing anything. We are constantly in examination mode only. There is no holiday mode. Always examination. Always January, February, March. Always that mode only we are. Like tomorrow is exam. Today is exam. Next moment is exam. It's always like that. That is why in our life also we have so many kind of different exams that we take and all that. So when in this transition period, slightly it will be difficult. Then again and again. For example, let's say now you called him, you will not even put that attempt to wake him up. Okay, if he had to wake up, God would have woken up from within him. He would have made his alarm ring, or he'll get up with a jerk. Oh my God, school. What is the time? He will only get up. If that had to happen, let's say you are already in that surrender mode. No, come what may, I know that this is going to happen. This is like in the end, but not like initially this may not happen. So then what will happen? Then he will come out as, Amma, what is the time? In this period, what will happen? He might go late for some time because you might have some cage there to say he should not go late. There is always that opposite thing that comes. So if you have that thing that he should not go late, he will go late. And then you will have to have that patience to drop him late also. Then what will happen? He will go there. He will probably stand in the queue or something near the principal's office, and then they will give him a lecture. Then he'll feel humiliated or something like that. Some experience like that will happen. Next day he'll come and say, oh, I'm not going to go late. But didn't we wait for that journey patiently? We don't want to wait. We want happiness now. God is saying, I'll give you happiness when you deserve. As long as there is a cage, you will not get happiness. The person opposite to you will give you happiness only when the God inside you says yes. Until then, he will say, no, I don't want happiness as of now. I don't need that happiness. I want the lesson. I want the child to rebel. Because that as of now, ego is dominant. It is what do you say? The entire this entire world or Bhumi is conquered by Ravana. As long as Ravan's Adhipatya is there, or his Rajya is happening, he is ruling the kingdom. This kind of thing only will happen. Happiness will not come. There will always be a sense of lack. Now, when did Ram come? Ram comes when we have to call Ram. We have to put that attempt to Constantly put that energy in surrendering, accepting. See, surrendering acceptance is a journey. It might take a long time. I mean, it will take its time because he has so many cages, cage by cage, cage by cage. But then what actually hastens or fastens this process is love for God. How do we bring this love for God? First, we have to know what is the roles and responsibilities of God in this whole thing. In Narasimha Avatara, we have seen he was waiting in every atom. What if Prahlada calls me? Because he was killing Prahlad, and Prahlada was his greatest devotee. And they say God is there for his devotees all the time. But are we his devotee? No, we are not even thinking about him so much. Devotee means somebody who loves him more. So how can we love him more? Yeah, japa, all of that is there. But then why will we do japa for him? I mean, why will we think of somebody who is majorly not in our major attention? So first we need to know about that personality. That personality now then becomes a, would you say, somebody who is more dear to you than your husband. You will start seeing goodness in God than your husband. You will start seeing goodness in God than your child. He'll become like a person who's constantly giving you happiness. Somebody who's giving you happiness when you think about him. When you surrender, especially, right? When you surrender to him and all that, there will be a lot of, the outcomes will be very, 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 very satisfying. When we surrender and get an outcome, it is a very satisfying experience. And when we start doing gratitude, that is also a very satisfying experience. So the more we start to acknowledge God in our life, his role and responsibilities in our life, then we will realize that, hey, I have nothing in my control. And why is God not giving me any control? Because I am not even a person worthy of control. See, Jivatma means somebody who is less than an atom. Somebody who is less than an atom. And that smallest thing, that smallest entity, which is not even visible to the naked eye, we all are that only. We don't even have a name. That is our existence. Now, God, in his greatest mercy, what he did, for whoever wanted, everybody has a certain nature. When Prakriti created everything, even Jivatmas, we are all, let's say, creations of that Paramatma only, having different combinations of Rajas, Tamas, and Sattva. That's why none of us are the same. Now, let's say in lowest level of consciousness, our three gunas may be in a different percentage. In this level, we may be in a different percentage combination. In this level, we may be a different percentage combination. In this level, we may be a different percentage combination. So when we are here, we'll get the experience that is according to that combination. When we are here, we'll get it according to this combination. When we are here, we'll get it according to this combination. So along with this, knowledge will be supplied. What is the right thing to do as per Vedas or Shastras or something? Somehow something will come to us. Right knowledge will come to us. When it comes to us, and getting an opportunity to connect to God, we have to be having that inclination to go in that path. But let's say in Duryodhana's case, he didn't have the inclination to go on that path. He had the knowledge of what is dharma. He had the knowledge of everything, but he didn't want to do it. He says, I know, but I don't want to do it. What can you say to such things? Some people don't know and they don't do. Some people know, but they don't want to do it. So he was one such character, which means there are some Jivatmas who are majorly in the opposite end of the spectrum. Their nature itself is like that. They don't have the inclination to go to God also. Because why are such Jivatmas created? In my opinion, maybe to keep the balance. In my opinion, I don't know. I may not be so well read to say why such things are there. Maybe because to balance, somewhere there is a balance. Within us also, the bad and the good are always fighting with each other. There is always a conflict, there is always a Devasura Sangrama happening inside. So where are we putting our energy? See, just because we have a very tamasic nature, very negative nature, doesn't mean that we cannot reach God at all. In that negative nature also, can you say God only is standing in me and then giving me this experience? That is the whole point. Whatever may be the thing that we're getting, I am in this state of happiness because he wished that happiness for me. I am in this state of sadness because he wished that sadness, that I have to go through this so that I can go out of this sthiti. So none of these are permanent. See, today you are struggling for your son. How many sons you've had in the past, in your past life? Do you even remember any of those sons or any of the daughters or any of your own personality? We don't remember. So which means it is so insignificant. I mean, although we understand all these things, we may not totally practice it on a day-to-day basis when it comes to practical thing. So whenever we at least we can remember, we should remember such things. Like for example, yesterday, in the morning, again, going late to school. My daughter had holidays, and then after that, she woke up from the holidays, and there was no rush at all. She woke up at 7 o'clock. She has to leave by 8 o'clock. And then we had told us, say some prayers and then go. No time for prayers also, no time to drink anything also, whatever. So she got up late, and on top of this, she was like full in self-pity mode. So I thought I have to really shake her up. I spoke some things in some loud voice. My idea was I'm not trying to correct her. It is more of I had to just bring some oh get up type of atmosphere. It was more that kind of state. It was more not more anger. It was more of getting some whatever right or wrong, whatever what sthiti I was, I don't know. Whether I had desire also, I can't remember. But that happened. Then she wanted to go by auto, and then I told it's okay. You go by metro. There is time. That was the message mostly. Then she got angry and she went off. But later on, she told me that I was not angry. I thought you are angry, so this is not the right time to ask for favors, and I went off. But for me, I thought she was angry and she went off. She didn't come and talk also, but in her mind, she was actually not angry. But whatever, the behavior was like that. So what I'm trying to tell is there are so many aspects in our life that we think we have already mastered. It will keep coming back again and again until we still have those attachments to see happiness coming from them. Then she asked me, why didn't you come and then talk to me? I said, I tried to speak to you. I went and knocked her door and all that. She didn't answer. In her mind, she was thinking it's in a dream. She had slept off. So there are so many different things that are happening here. I was thinking something. She was thinking something. Both of us are acting in the same way, in our own thing. In my mind, okay, as of now, I don't deserve her coming and talking to me nicely. That is why God has not given me that experience. I'll wait. I'll wait patiently until that experience comes. Then later on, my husband saw that she's not even talking, she's not responding, she didn't eat food also. He went and spoke to her. I don't know what they spoke. I was I was waiting patiently. Okay, when that comes, it'll come, divine timing. Then later on, she only came and then she spoke. Then she said, why didn't you talk? I said, it's okay. So I thought when God is giving me that experience, it'll automatically come. So I didn't thing. Plus, I thought she will tell Amma, I love you. You are the best person in the world. All that, and the same person can also get angry. The same person can also become angry on me also and walk away. So I was actually seeing these contrasts. I told her, in a person, I can see all these contrasts. So obviously, I am not the one who is in control. So the one who is in control will anyway give me the change. I thought, and I did not push you. I told her. Then either way, she spoke to me, and then she went. So some of these things we just have to witness that today we might get happiness from them. The same person, he may have done the best in their life, but you will not be happy. The same person will be the worst in their life, you will still be happy. So the God is saying that it does not matter how the pose is. When I decide that they'll give you happiness, you'll get happiness. And when will I decide that you will get happiness? When your cages and other factors are aligned. And when you are totally surrendered to me. God says, I don't care how many sins you've done or how many ego related work you've done. I don't care. I don't care what's your nature. But are you surrendered at any point in time? Are you coming to me? Are you coming back to me? Are you calling me? Are you calling out for me? In Bhagavad Gita also he says that. You leave all your dharma and come to me. Sarva dharma parityajya, he said. What is my dharma? My dharma is I should get happiness from my child. This is my happiness. That will give me happiness. This will give me happiness. That is my dharma as of now. My dharma is not towards my soul. Oh my God, I need to practice acceptance because my internal state is going to change. All that is not there. That swadharma is not there. To bring the right things for me is not there. I'm not working for my own state. I'm working for somebody else. I'm thinking that they will give me happiness, so I will keep serving them so that they give me happiness. So even in Mahabharata, we see many of these things. Actually, when we keep hearing, if you get a YouTube video of somebody who's actually telling the entire Mahabharata, no, some Pandit, listen to that keenly. You'll get so many ideas of, oh my God, that's my nature. See, when we look at somebody who's actually happy, or I'll just give an example. Let's say you see your son who's doing all these things. Then you see your neighbor's son or your friend's son who's very diligent in school. Then you'll think, Cha, I don't have such a thing. Or we'll be jealous. You may not be. I'm just giving an example. So what is the worst state? There are people who will try to, some people may just be jealous and then be quiet. But there are people who will be jealous and then try to, break that child's efficiency also. There are people. They will try to tell the mother something, or they will try to make that child do some, like in movies they show, no? Those are worst states. Duryodhana used to do that. He couldn't stand the good that he used to see in his Pandava brothers. He has done all kinds of tricks to kill them. That is what people do. When we see good in others and we can't tolerate, what do? There are different stages. First stages, we might try to kill them. In some pasts, maybe so kill them, hurt them, malign them, whatever. Then slowly, what do? We just have some amount of sadness. We have some amount of negative feelings for them. So in Duryodhana's army, they may not have been as bad, cruel as Duryodhana. He was a king. He was basically the Kali. Okay, he was the Kali of, he was a like top-notch negativity. As we come down in his army, there were people who were hating people who were on the path of dharma, who were good. So they couldn't stand goodness. That much was their criteria to be in Duryodhana's army. They couldn't stand goodness. So many times we also can't stand the goodness in others, no? Now, these are the things that should help us understand where do we stand in our life? Which side are we? Are we on Krishna's side or are we on the other side? We think we are on Krishna's side, but are we? So when we listen to some of these stories, we will realize, oh my God, I have exactly the same nature. Now, when you come to Manthara's story, like this Manthara, the Kaikeyi as a queen, right? They say that Kausalya was a very sattvic lady. So sattvic that God himself was born in her womb. That much was her eligibility. That much was her sattva, state of sattva. It was so pure, her mind, her behavior, everything was kaya, vacha, manasa, everything was God related. So she was very pure. and she has done her own sadhana or whatever. Let's say God was born in her womb. Now come to KK. KK was very Rajasic, very dynamic, very efficient, very go-getter kind of person. That she was that was her personality. Sumitra was good by nature. All the three queens were good. Sumitra also was good by nature, but she was very not action oriented. Mostly depending on the other queens for her buddhi kind of thing. She was very dependent, but she was generally good by nature. In Kaikeyi's case, she was so dynamic, so even in Rajaniti and all that, she was very good. And she was the favorite of Rama. Rama used to love her a lot. And she also used to love Ram a lot, which means she loved God a lot. That was her state, which means a person, let's say, who's doing so much of sadhana, sattvic sadhana, will be doing all that sadhana because they love God. Even when we do jap, we are actually doing action with a desire. Any desire means it's rajasic. No desires means sattvic. So when we have desires, we are in the rajasic state. Rajasic state is more like a bridge between sattva and tamasic. So that lady, she was so dynamic that in when war between gods and daityas happened, her husband was about to get killed. So when somebody told her, she also went for war, it seems, along with him. When she went for war and she saw that the husband Dasharatha is dying or he is about to die, he is becoming um, rather I think he was stuck in the chest or something. She said, I'll fight. And then she started fighting and all that. Then fighting means she was fighting to take him back to the palace to save his life. At that time, no, I think it is when he was fighting also, she was assisting him. Then at that time, his chariot's wheel, there is one pin that stays like this in the chariot's wheel. Apparently, that came off. And if to ensure that the husband keeps fighting, she did not even disturb him. She did not even alarm him. What she did was she kept her finger only she kept it since in the chariot's wheel. Imagine how dynamic she was. How much her focus and concentration to do some work was. I will do it to ensure that this action has to happen. She was so dynamic. So such a person who loves God so much, who's so sattvic, who's so sattvic oriented, the bridges leading towards sattva, that was her nature. Manthara, who was, let's say, you can call it the ego with desires. Manthara was absolutely against God, no? She just started planting the seed one by one, everything in one night only she did. Okay, few hours. Slowly, initially, Kaikeyi was like, don't talk about this like this. How can you say? How can you tell all such nonsense? You are a dasi. Don't even utter such things in front of me. That was her. Like when ego comes and gives us all negative suggestions, what do? We say, no, that is wrong. We will never do. We are going to tell such things. But if the ego keeps suggesting such wrong things, it will keep suggesting. It will tell, see, you are very good. You will be imprisoned if Ram becomes the king. No, you are the second wife. Where will you have? Kausalya will become queen. And so she started suggesting all kinds of nonsense to her. Slowly, you know what happened? That Rajas is a bridge, right? Slowly it came off towards Tamas. Even we are like that. And we all know what happened. Initially, she was like, don't talk such things. Later on, she said, yeah, correct. Tell me more about it. In few hours only it happened. And then she was so much into tamas, she just slipped in the bridge from one end, she slipped into the other end. So what I'm trying to tell is, we are in that state as of now. We are in that state. We are not in Krishna's path. We are not in We are not, we are on Ravan, we are still in Lanka, still on Ravan's, still in Ravan's kingdom. But sparks of goodness is there. Like how Vibhishan also was in Lanka, sparks of, he had lot of goodness. He was having a lot of sattva. That is why Hanuman came and then all that interactions, all that happened. But there are so many people in Lanka who did not die in the Ramayana war. Because there was goodness in them, they didn't die. Because they had some element of like something about God, some idea about God, oh, I want to do that, I want to go on that path. Something was there, some element of goodness was there. That is why they all survived, and eventually Vibhishan became the king, and he became the king of all of those Rakshas, and then they all started going on the path of Dharma. That is the second thing. So what I'm trying to tell is we are still there in that kingdom only. And if Ravan is still ruling us, we will still follow his path only. So what we have to do is we have to, still acknowledging that we are still in ego, we still have to follow Ram's path. And it's not easy, no, to be in somebody else's kingdom and then be as if we are in Ayodhya. We can't do that. It's very difficult. We have to put a lot of fight. We have to put up with a lot of fight with the ego. We have to hide and do it. We have to struggle and do it. We have to do it within so that the ego doesn't, rather we have to do it more with a sense of bravery. So we have to do it. There is no choice. We are not in that state where we are in Ayodhya and it naturally comes to us. Dharma is not naturally coming to us. We have to, like, oh, teachers taught me this. Now I have to practice this. We are in that mode only. Okay, Nageshwari, you understood what I'm saying? It's not easy,
Yeah.
but we all face it. See, if you are facing that problem, a part of it I am also facing. That is why we are in the same class and we are talking to each other, talking about the same subject and all that. Everybody, at least whoever we are connected to, we share problems, similar problems, because we are karmically bound to each other. Everybody in this class, somehow we are karmically bound to each other. We may not exactly see the same things, but we are all reflections of each other. Somewhere something is matching. Okay, so see, yeah, Manjula, what was your question?
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thanks for waiting. Thanks for your question, and thanks, Manjula, for waiting.
No worries. Smita's like my question is more related to touch upon this perimenopause, this transition in terms of spiritual. How do you connect it? Because I'll tell you, it's like my personal experience. Like I was like doing all those all the activities which has been planned every day based on like how do I feel for that particular day. And it was one of your takeaway from a class like 3 to 4 months back that do not attach yourself to any of the moods or emotions for the day. So irrespective of how I feel, how do I mood swings, I still go with whatever activities has been planned. So that is achievable now. But end of the day, if you see the tiredness you feel, the mood swings you feel, the vacuum, and the end of the day, what you have done it so far, that thought process is still reflecting. And I keep reflecting like sudden itchiness somewhere and skin rashes somewhere. All these things are like I'm just seeing, and everywhere we see these terms as perimenopause. I thought if we can reflect, throw light on more on the spiritual transition on this link to this perimenopause would be great.
See, don't see anything, don't give anything a name. Just think that there is some karma related to that. It is reflected. Some emotion, something was not handled properly, it is just coming. So, see, menopause doesn't have to have all those symptoms. In my case, I didn't have any of the symptoms. Life is just going on. So it doesn't have to have all of those symptoms. Obviously, I can say, oh yeah, it may be because of lifestyle. I can't prove it to you. Ultimately, it is something to do with what we have to experience at that time. Today, it is very logical. If let's say in a certain age we call it menopause, You can give it a lot, but let's say that when you're in 20s and you get the same problems, will you call it menopause? It is ego wants to blame something, and see, you can't make it go away overnight. Oh, I don't want this rash. Can you make it go away? You can't. So what will you do? The ego will say, okay, I'll give it a name. I'm going to say perimenopause, or I'm going to say menopause, or whatever. So that is why when you give all of that name, you're willing to accept the trash, no? Oh yeah, it's okay. If it's there, I'm going to be okay with that. Otherwise, are you willing for that rash to be on your skin? You'll be like literally figuring out how to make the rash go away. But now you're willing to wait. Oh yeah, I think I'm in that stage. So this rash is absolutely welcome. Or this issue is absolutely welcome. This fatigue is absolutely welcome. I'm not going to fight it. So, see, that kind of acceptance is not acceptance. It is more of a cage, if you ask me. It is a belief system. It's a cage. Again, we are trying to bind ourselves. So, which is why when we try to bring some of these things, just say that this is something that I had to go through, and God wants me to go through. It's okay, I'm going to go through. Don't give it a name. Don't give it a reason, because you can't prove that reason. How can you prove? You can't prove anything to him. And it will not go until the divine timing comes. Many of these in one of the classes, I think I spoke about this fasting the ego, no? First, fasting the ego is to not give it a name. It's asking, give me one reason. I'm becoming very restless. Give me one reason. Say no reason. There is no reason. It's just God. This is just something that I have to go through. When I don't have to go through that, it will automatically go away. Meanwhile, you don't have to ask for reasons. Let's say you can tell your ego, I don't have reasons. So that is first fasting of the ego. Second thing is, let's say when you do diets, when you do juicing, when you do all of these kinds of things, that is also fasting the ego, like I told you in the last time when we met. So when we are not comfortable doing some of these things, we are actually fasting our ego. And when we are comfortable doing those things, we are not fasting. It is very easy going. Ego is now comfortable doing that. So what is uncomfortable to me, that we have to figure out. And what feels like, see, for example, let's say you can tell yourself, okay, I'm going to do Vishnu Sahasranam in the morning and I'm going to read in the evening. Is it going to be possible? You will only get scared. Oh my God, do I even have the time to sit for 20 minutes in the morning and in the night? Do I have the time? What if I can't do? Ego will tell, no, you don't have that time. Yeah, where is the time? Your time is already occupied with XYZ. Whole day you're occupied. Now, where will you get time for 2 Vishnu Sahasranams? Then you will tell, no, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. How am I going to do it? I'm going to wake up early. Maybe I'm going to, let's say, start my day maybe so many minutes early. So then it is difficult, no, to squeeze something like this kind of commitment. And this is a activity. This is a rajasic activity. There's a desire to please God. Or let's say I'm doing this for Hari only gave me this prerana. God only gave me this prerana, this inspiration to do this. Did you get the idea suddenly? No, it was planted in your head. You suddenly realized that suddenly you got this thought. Before that, it was not there. Now whoever gave you that inspiration, you are doing it for his happiness. That's all is the only desire you have. And that desire is always sattvic. And it has no self-related, it is not desire with respect to pleasing the body, pleasing the ego, pleasing your mind, or it has nothing to do with that. So it will become a very nishkam karma. Nishkam means there is no desire associated with you, ego related. So then that is also fasting the ego, where there is no ego related desire there. So when you do actions that are not ego-related desire and you're fasting the ego, these will take away the karma. Now, let's say if there is 100% karma in the perimenopause symptoms, a part of that thing will basically go off when you put yourself through this process of telling twice of Vishnu Sahasranama with all that struggles and getting up and this and that and all is not easy, no? You're going through some struggle there. For whom? For a higher cause. So there that karma is going to be burned because what is karma? We did something for pleasing the ego. Past lives, whatever we've done it. Because of our, let's say our nature, our gunas. In that state, in that moment, whatever was the combination of our gunas. Then how do we undo it? By doing something that is absolutely non-ego related. And the only thing that is non-ego related is God. Because he is the only one who is constant and everything else is dynamic. Everything else is perishable. So we can only do, when we do something for the imperishable or for the, the infinite, for the something that is not going to destroy, who doesn't have any doshas. When we do it for him, then absolute happiness will flow from the same state. And obviously the karma will get. So which means when you distribute and then go to, then the menopause symptoms will feel like it has reduced and you're still doing this. Somewhere when all of this sadhana, all these XYZs that you're doing are called sadhana. And when this sadhana is done with sincerity, dedication, shraddha, there is absolutely consistency, discipline, and every day, you're putting your mind to constantly do that commitment that you have committed for a higher cause. What will happen is, the divine moment will come early. It's like divide and conquer. When you divide and conquer, parallelly you will be doing all of these things. Let's say if maybe you did Vishnu Sahasranam jap twice. Chanting you did twice a day. Then maybe you're writing gratitude also. You're thanking God for even the pain you're doing, whatever you wrote for thanking. That is also, because it's not easy to keep thinking about who's planting those thoughts about gratitude. My intention was to sit and write gratitude, but then who is giving you those ideas? He's only giving you. So he is the one. He is the first one who experiences everything. He is the first one who does and you get experience. He is the first one who experience. He's the one who is receiving. He's the one who is also giving firsthand. We are feeling that we are giving. We are feeling that we are also taking. We are receiving. We feel like that because we are attached to the body. But he is the only one who's giving, taking everything. And because of this feeling that we are doing only, that karma gets accumulated. Because there is some element of misunderstanding, no? See, because we don't think about him, does he stop doing for us? No, he doesn't. He's there. He's always there. Even in a demonic person also, he's there. Giving him the demonic desires that they want. Because he is a person who is absolutely detached from good, bad, ugly. You want this desire, he'll give you the desire also, but he'll also give the consequence of the desire also. He doesn't care who is asking for the desire, why you're asking for. He doesn't. It's just the intention. Because according to that nature, no, we'll have desires. In that moment of sattva, rajas, tamas combination, we'll have some desires associated with that. Those desires will be based on whatever our cage is at that time inside us. It is like a pre-built thing. In that state, we'll have these desires. In some other state, we'll have some other desires. But we are getting the opportunity to make those desires non-ego based with some knowledge. But are we willing to walk that path? Are we having the intention? So let's say you're seeing a movie, you're getting carried away. But if you have the intention that, okay, fine, I'm going to, let's say now support this hero. I'm just saying. But what if we have the intention to constantly support the villain? The intention can be anything, no? I'll be watching the movie, I can think whatever I want. It's the intention. But that intention also is coming based on that state of Rajas, Tamas, and Sattva, that combination, that consciousness we are in at that time. Why didn't I get that intention? I mean, that's the right thing to do, right? Why didn't I get that? Yeah, you were not ready for that intention. That's why you didn't get that intention. So it's all there. It will come. But at that time, how are we reacting and responding to whatever is shown to us? We'll be shown whatever we already have within us. It's never like we are not seeing anything that we don't have. Which is why when we see our kids or something, we are constantly seeing us, but we may not know in which area of our life we are exactly like that. In my case, when my child used to constantly tell lies, right from a childhood, she was telling lies. Who's talking? I don't know. Can somebody go on mute, or is it Manjula, your voice only? Yeah? Your house only? Not sure. So when I was seeing her when a child itself, she was telling lies, and it was coming very naturally to her. Then at some point, after all of this teachings and other things started entering my head, when Bhagavad Gita and other things started entering my head, I was constantly reflecting on all of these things, and that's when I started to understand. Oh yeah, I'm just seeing a reflection of myself. Initially, it was just an acceptance. Oh, it's a reflection. It's a reflection. It's a reflection. Before that was how I am such a truthful person. I am walking Krishna's path. How can I lie? I'm not even lying. And overall, at the overall thing, I was not lying. That was my feeling. At an obvious level, I was not lying. And we think, what is not lying? Some obvious things we don't lie. So I was thinking that is not lying. Then I started seeing her as a reflection. Oh, maybe there is I didn't see it more like I am a liar, that is why she's lying. I didn't see it like that. Initially, I thought, oh, it is just a karma. Some karma is getting reflected. So that reflection is being seen as a lie. Then, as that acceptance started deepening, I started seeing, oh my God, I am lying here. I am lying there. It didn't look like a lie. I had a justification why I'm doing that. So obviously that didn't feel like a lie to me, but it was still a lie. It was a fake. You see, even lying means you are not the same. You are not the same in front of everybody. You are not transparent. People, when they look at you, one person may have a different opinion, the other person may have a different opinion, because you are different to me. So I have a projected image, I have a self-image. To me, I'm a different person. But when I'm projecting my image to the world, there's a different image. So all this is lying only. So I may not be in a position to correct that immediately, because may not be in my hand. So that also I started accepting. Oh, what I'm seeing in her as a lie is my own thing. But I still don't have the capacity to correct it yet, because there is that cage was very big when I realized, oh my God. So then slowly, as that acceptance also started deepening, I started seeing that she only is not lying. And then the journey of understanding that she's really telling the truth also was, see, there are so many different related cages that will keep coming. And first we should start believing that what I see in them is in me. First, don't even question that. Then later on, God will show you where that is in you. In which area you are also like that only. Absolutely misbehaved. We won't know. So first, in our role, every single thing that is ever being experienced, ever happening in the cosmos is happening because God is making it happen according to our nature. And why is my nature like this? Why am I not there? We can't question that. We will go there when we deserve to go there. Deserve means we have that state inside us. But for that, we need to cross all of the current states and go to that state. And how can we cross the current state? We'll cross it only when we accept that yes, I'm in this state. I am in this state. If you keep playing, no, they are, then the whole journey is lost there. when you keep pointing fingers at somebody who's being shown, then when you stop to say, oh, I am in this state, that is why all of them are showing me that I am in this state. That acceptance has to deepen. Then automatically we'll become lighter, and then we will just alight to the next level. We will just climb off to the next level. Then there, it might be definitely a little better than the previous one. Then the poses there also will show better experiences. So we cannot leave a current consciousness until we accept everything that is shown. And we don't see, when we say I can't leave my house until I walk out of the door. So like that, until I walk out of the door, being detached, or my house will be taken care of. What if I'm so attached to my house that I don't even want to leave the house? What if somebody comes and steals something in my house? I may have so many fears. So as long as I'm attached to the house, so attached that I don't even want to leave the house, then I will never leave the house. So I can only leave the house when I'm detached. And when will the detachment come? The detachment will come, at least in spirituality, the detachment will come from anything only when you get bhakti. You have to replace that attachment that you have for XYZ with God. Now, how did you get attachment to your son, to your daughter, to your husband? By spending more time with them. You wanted some happiness from them. Why? Because you spent more time with them. So now you have to spend time with somebody else to get more attachment to something else. So that time meant mind's time. It is not about physical time. It is about mental time. In your mind, how much are you willing to give to God? To become attached to God is what I'm saying. So bhakti is attachment to God. And attachment to God will become very unsustained and possessive, and it can lead to anger and things which will also not be very which will also become tamasic if there is no associated knowledge with respect to God, that God is what kind of state that we have to be in. That when karma yoga and all is there, no, when that deepens, we will become more humble. We are not trying to fight anybody. We are actually being shown what we are. Everybody is leading their own journeys. Who are we to fight in this whole journey? They are also here suffering to go and walk towards God. We are also suffering and to walk towards God. Now, what is this fight all about? And what they are showing me is my nature only. Why am I even fighting with them? I am actually fighting with myself. When I fight with them with respect to something, I'm fighting with myself. So, but we don't remember all this when we are in the heat of the moment. So the whole journey is to keep remembering, keep remembering. And the only thing that we can ask God is, give me that strength to do more bhakti to you, to get the knowledge to walk to your path. That's all we need to ask. If you're asking for anything more than this, then we get into bondage. That's it. And more bondage means cages. So if you happen to go to any temple, any God, if you're talking to God in whatever state you are, don't ask for anything, including my son should get an education, my son should behave properly, my son. No, don't ask for anything, because you're inviting trouble. If you ask anything in the world, he'll send it with a package, sadness. Because anything in the world has duality. Happy, if you ask for happy things, he will give you sad things also. Because it comes with a package. Buy one, get one free. Ask only for him. God, give me bhakti, give me the knowledge to see this world through your eyes. And how will that come? Through knowledge? And help me remember, give me that sense to remember that it's you who is giving me all these experiences. And when will that crazy experience go away? When I am ready for that. When will the person opposite to you will give that happiness? When will the object opposite to you give that happiness? When will the situation opposite to you will give that happiness? When will the experience give you happiness? Is only when he wishes for that inside you, because he has to first receive it, no? He is first receiving that happiness. If somebody is insulting you, he is getting the insult first. But why is he not bothered by it? Because he's like this drop of water on the lotus. He doesn't care. Because he's already the ultimate. Why will he care if somebody gives him respect or no? When Krishna went to Hastinapur to to um, to actually ask for saying as a peace, what is it called? Yeah, as a person who goes to as a peacemaker. Sorry, peacemaker. He'll go as a peacemaker, right? Shanti Duta. He goes as a peacemaker. This Duryodhana, they didn't give him respect. They didn't give him respect at all. So then this Dhritarashtra was like, hey, I'm going to give him a chariot. I'm going to give him something with gold, this, that. I mean, he literally, he measures him in a lot of materialistic wealth. Then Bhishma and Vidura comes and tells him he doesn't care. He's already a king. He's a king of kings. He doesn't need all your wealth. He's the one who's given you all this wealth. He will just laugh. He doesn't even need your respect. And maybe we will save our own respect if we do that atithya to him, at least by washing his feet and saying welcome. We can't do anything more than this. This is the only bare minimum we can do. If you do anything more than this, then it's our own disrespect. I mean, we are disrespecting ourselves with that ignorance, is what he'll say. Because Krishna doesn't need all that. He doesn't care also whether you do or no, because he knows that you are doing it with a lot of selfish intentions. That, oh, let Krishna, we will buy Krishna with all of these materialistic wealth, is what Dhritarashtra thought. So, like this, we can't, he doesn't get carried away with anything. Why was he on the side of Pandavas? People will say, oh, he favored the Pandavas. No, he didn't favor the Pandavas. He was walking their path because those people were following Dharma. Kunti was on the path of true Dharma. We all know that in the end, Kunti asked Krishna, God, please give me only sadness, difficulties. Because only in that time I'm going to remember you, and I always want to remember you. In the whole entire history, she's the only one who asked for that. There is nobody else who has actually dared to ask for such things. So, and such a mother, for such a mother, of course the children were also amshas of gods, but they were also carried away by Maya. Not everybody, except Bhim. Bhim was not carried away by Maya. Even Arjun, for that matter, he will say, I can't face my grandfather, all that he will say, right? Arjun needed to become famous. He needed to become strong and all of that. So he was the front end. But Bhima is an avatar of Hanuman. And we all know what Hanuman is. His focus was only God. His focus was only Krishna. His focus was only Vedavyas. He only listened to them. And then he did all the duties as per the, Bhagavad Gita concept. He was fearless. And he didn't care. He didn't have any, he didn't carry any, he didn't pray to any god, give me this Agni Astra, Varun Astra, this Astra, that Astra. Arjun had everything. Bhim didn't have anything. Because his strength was God only. He didn't need any Astra. Because he didn't want to bend to any other god. Because he knew that as long as I am surrendered to God, I have everything with me. So when Kauravas tried to kill him, so many tactics they had to kill him. He didn't die in any tactic. Literally, even that Kalakut Visha, they say, right? During the Samudra Matana, that Visha came. When that wish came also, how did Duryodhana get that Mula Visha, they say? How did he get that Visha is, Shukracharya was he prayed to Shiva. He prayed to Shiva and then he got that poison. Give me the poison. He did tapas for poison and then he got the poison. Then this Shakuni did something to Shukracharya and then he gained his goodwill and then he got that poison. Now this poison was fed to Bhima. He didn't die in that. And in fact, Bhim got to know that they put poison in his food. Who told him? Duryodhana's brother, there was one brother. He was not born out of Gandhari. He was born out of Dhritarashtra's son, but he was not born out of Gandhari. Another slave, another Dasi's son. Now he comes and tells. He tells Bhima they've mixed poison. It's okay. I'll see. I want to enjoy poison also. Let me see. It's been a long time since I tasted that. God is in that also. No, I want to taste that also. He drank that. Nothing happened to him. Now, what can happen? So they say that he didn't want to even please Dronacharya by doing all of his work. He didn't want to be in the limelight also because he didn't care. Did Hanuman care to be in the limelight anytime? He just wanted God's feet. So in that way, what I was trying to tell is everybody gets carried away by Maya. So we also should just walk. We have to just keep trying to walk that path because he is the one who is doing everything within us. And forget about Bhima. I mean, Hanuman and all that. He's a pranvayu. So for him anyway, all that is easy. But take in this period itself. In Prahalada did not have that power, but he had surrender. In Bhim's case, he had the physical strength also. He had mental strength also, all that. Okay, fine. But in Prahalad's case, he didn't have any of those strength. He just surrendered to God. He escaped everything. Then in this Kali Yuga itself, Mirabai was fed poison. And I think many of their saints were fed poison. Nothing happened to them. How? Because they followed a certain path. But did they come to that state overnight? No, they maybe have taken many lives to come to that state. And we are also on that journey. We may not get beautiful experiences like them. But if we walk that path today, the experience that is beautiful to us is when we walk the path of acceptance, our child will reflect that. They will get up and go to school properly. To that extent, his happiness, we are getting that. So, I mean, forget about total bhakti and all of that. At least to some extent, let me do acceptance and surrender. To the bhakti part, invest your mental energy to remember all of these things. To remember that he is the one who is in control. And he will not give me what I don't need yet. Like how a parent is, no? A parent also will constantly send the child to school. The child will go through, there the teacher may be strict to the child. He may not go through pleasant experiences with the children there. Maybe people are bullying him. Or he might have to sit and study for homeworks. He has to sit and write his exams, tests and all of that. It is not easy. But don't we allow them to go through all those challenges? Similarly, God as a parent also is gently sitting with us through those challenges. Because he knows that only this is what is going to get us to a higher and better state. There is no other choice. Like the way we have become slightly stone-hearted for our children to go through some of the difficult challenges so that it will shape them to become better citizens. He will also make us go through some of these things with an intention that they will become better citizens. Can you write your exam for your child and hope that she will learn? There is a saying, my grandfather, this is some Arab sheikh told this, my grandfather rode camels. My father rode Rolls Royce. I am riding a chartered plane. But my grandchildren will also, my grandchildren will ride camels. By the time it comes to the time of the grandchildren, they will absolutely have no experience of living life. It will all be spoon fed and they'll have absolutely zero knowledge of how to even retain that wealth. So they'll ride camels once again because they'll lose all the wealth. That is what he says. So we have to allow them to go through the challenges. That is why I said, no, I have to allow them, I have to allow what I don't like. I have to allow what I don't like for me to see what I like. I mean, it is a very crude example, the way I think in my head. I have to allow this to happen for me. I have to wait patiently until what I like to come in front of me. But if I don't allow that to happen, what I like in front of me will not come. Or I have to allow them to do what they like to do. It can be stated like this also. I have to allow people or my poses to do what they don't like, what they like to do. Like they may have addictive behaviors. For a second, forget about acceptance, surrender, and all that. I'm just telling the sentence. I have to allow them to do what they like to do for them to understand what they don't like. If they keep doing some of these things, someday they will understand what they like, what they don't like properly. They have to understand now what I don't like. For them to understand what they don't like, they have to first go through a path. They are doing what they like only, no? For them to understand what they don't like, they have to walk that path. And I have to walk a path where I have to see what I don't like. Patiently. The time will come for me to see what I like also. If I have waited patiently. Without complaints. We may be having that urge to complain, tell other people, all of that. We have the urge, but we have to wait patiently. For the opposite duality to also show. It's important. And that will teach us acceptance. Because until the divine timing comes, we will never see it. And how did we now suddenly see a better reality? Because as we start to wait patiently, thinking that this is what has come to me, it's God's blessings, He's giving me some test and exam. As a parent, He's watching me go through these challenges. It is necessary for me. All of that, if we keep remembering how a parent is, and what goes through in a parent-child relationship. If we are constantly doing that, we are actually slowly leaving that state and going higher. So acceptance can be understood at different levels like this. And God's role is very important. He is there in everything. And if you go deeper into the Shastras, there are details about how in each body, like each subtle body, there is a different manifestation of the same Paramatma, the same God. In Vishnu Sahasranama, all those names comes. No, where are all those names fitting in? What are all those names doing? There is a role for each of those names. As this name, how is he controlling the cosmos? What is he doing? As this name, what is he doing in the cosmos? For example, let's say you have a desire. Now, in your dream, you're actually seeing that desire happen. You're experiencing that desire, for example. Now, who made that happen? How are you getting that vivid experience in the dream? How is that actually happening? So for that also, there's an explanation. God experiencing it, how he's making that happen, all that, there's an explanation for that also. Now, let's say you ate one food. How did you get the taste? There is an explanation for that also. How is that mixing happening? How is this happening? How is the taste coming? He's the taste. The taste also is him only. And that the one who is getting that experience is also him only. From one avatar of Narayan, it will go to another avatar of Narayan, and he's only doing everything. So there is so much of all of these explanations in the Upanishads and the Vedas and all of that. Like, it's too hard to comprehend where he is not there. He's there in everything. If we just sit and think about breaking down all of these things that we are experiencing, who did this, 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 then we'll get to know that he is always with us. And if a great, 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 great person is always with you, but we fail to recognize that, then it's our own problem. We have to just start bringing that into our notice. And that is why gratitude practice and all is done, so that we can remember him more. Okay. So today we have done acceptance. Next class we will do surrender. And then maybe 10th class we will bind up. So this jap and satsang, swadhyaya. Swadhyaya means you spending the time to connect more to God, to know him through your own effort. And he's only making you do that also, of course. He's only staying within you and doing all that. Because there's an intention. That intention is a desire. You expressed a desire to walk to him, right? So he will make that happen. And how strong is your desire? You have to keep wanting to do it. Then it will happen. So that swadhyaya, satsang, then also doing something to connect to him, to replace your attachment from here to there. It cannot overnight go away, no? The attachments that we have with our children and all that, we have attachment, that is why we are sad. So what he's trying to do is, you will still stay in the relationship, but attachment will go off. When attachment goes off, the same relationship will be a very happy relationship. He wants us to experience the ultimate state in every relationship. And for that, we have to remove the ego part from that relationship, which is called attachment. Attachment means they have to give me happiness. If they don't give me, then I'm going to shout at them. I'm going to fight back. He wants us to remove off that component from every relationship. Isn't it good? We have to try not to walk the path. If you want the best in your husband, best husband-wife relationship, if you want to experience, you have to remove the attachment from that relationship. You have to be willing to walk that path to replace that attachment with God. How it doesn't mean that you start saying, oh, my God is my husband, there's God in my husband. It may not come so easily. So somewhere else you can start listening to God, see him in your food, see him in other things. So in that sense, you start seeing him slowly, bring him more into your mind. Over time, he'll occupy the husband part also. He will take over that part also. So when we bring attachment to God and ask for knowledge, and this knowledge he's already giving us, no? This is basic knowledge. I'm not even bringing too much from the Shastra point of view, because I also don't know. I'm also in that same path. He'll give, someday he'll give. When I'm ready, he'll give. Today I'm not ready. Only to some extent, Bhagavad Gita, I understand that. That also is like maybe 1%. Okay. So any questions? There's something in chat. You said we have to dharam. We have to dharam. It means we are working for our family, thinking good for the family. Is that not what we are? Is that not mean we are selfish? In chapter 6, you said not speak good about us. If you're thinking good about family, then we will speak good about our family. See, dharma means, the highest dharma is to bring light within yourself. Okay, to bring light within yourself. Because if everything is a reflection of you, then if you are pure, then obviously your world is also pure, no? We can't fix our world. So when you're walking a path of a wife, then just do the duty of your wife. Do the duty of being a wife. Don't expect that when you do your duty of the wife, somebody should appreciate, somebody should say yes, somebody should say no, blah, blah, blah. All of that is expectation. So don't have any expectations as much as possible. When you are still having expectations, observe that you have expectations. And also accept that there will also come disappointment. See, when we start expecting something to be good in our life, no, we should be prepared to also face something opposite also. When we have desire for something, we must be okay for the opposite also to happen. Because desire comes with two coins, two sides of the coin. If you're saying, I want this coin, that coin will have two sides. Happy side, sad side. So if you say, I want happiness from my husband, then that a side will come with, he will give you happiness, he will not give you happiness also. So you work for the family, think good for the family, you are not selfish at that state. When you say where selfishness, wrong selfishness comes is that I want them to be happy the way I want. May not be necessary. They may not align with you, but they may still be happy. So accept the way they are. You do your duty. That's all I'm saying. So do not speak good about us. See, in one of the chapters, I think I told that when you start boasting about yourself. Now, when do we boast about ourselves? When we are not feeling enough. Let's say no, you have suddenly an experience where nobody appreciates. Now, what do you want to do? Nobody is appreciating. It means that nobody knows about me. I will only talk about myself. Then when you talk about yourself, what others will do? Oh, is it? Hey, you know what? I gave this speech today. I went and met Ambani today, you know. I clicked a photo. See, here's my photo. And this is what he told me. Or I went and met this person here today. Oh, wow, yeah, you went him, huh? Great. Cha. This. Now, what was the point of you going and telling them I met? You know, how does this information help somebody else? Why did you tell them? Because you wanted them to say, wow, very good. You are missing that very good. But they will tell you very good. But then how long can you be happy with that very good? One day. It's a impermanent happiness. Again and again, you want to keep doing something and then tell others. See, simple things at home. What do we do? I mean, these are so unnoticed. Now, let's say you did puja. You'll take these days, what we do? We take a picture, post it on WhatsApp, post it on Facebook, post it on Instagram. See, so beautiful, puja, blah, blah, blah. Then somebody will say, hey, where did you buy this lamp? Yeah, it's so good. Puja, you've done so beautiful puja. Oh my God. So divine. So blah, blah, blah. Now, this is what we were lacking. So we are now trying to get that from somebody else. Is it wrong? You may not feel it's wrong. That is why you're doing. But what I am trying to tell is that will come back to us as karma because it's a cage. I mean, you did it from a place of lack, no. But what God says is, as long as you're constantly chasing that, you'll get it. You'll get happiness from that, but that happiness will also go away. So as we know that once we start realizing, oh, this is actually, this lack is there within me, right? That is why I'm doing all this. Okay. What can you do about it? You are still feeling it. You can't do anything about it. You can only replace that with a little bit about knowing about God, doing the acceptance, accepting that I have this lack nature as of now. I have this nature to constantly go back to the world and ask for appreciation. They say that if you have something within you that is useful to others, automatically the others will come into your contact. It is like how flowers have nectar and automatically the bees go to it. The flower is not calling the bees. So they say if you have something to offer to others, it will somehow come to a state where people will come to know about it, and you'll have to give that what you have to them. You don't have to ask for it. At least in the mind, you can think like that. You don't have to ask for it. It will come somehow because karma is there, no? This give and take will happen, whether you advertise it, whether you ask for it, ask for appreciation, whatever. If appreciation should not come to you because you don't deserve it, it will not come. People will fake it so that you don't feel unhappy. So there are lots of such things. Manasa, did you get it? Okay. Any other questions? Okay. If we don't have any questions, maybe we can stop here. Thank you. Thank you all.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just
Yeah.
Anju,
Yeah.
you had a question?
Yeah. I just want to know, though I've been doing all this stuff, still so many things happening in the world, right? You look at the war and what is happening in Maharashtra and the Tadoba Island, the cutting of the trees and the island, everything. So what is that I can do about it? The,
Now you're investing energy in something that you have no role to play. So what is the point of investing energy in that? Or even if you're investing energy in that, why shouldn't you send some good there? Okay, now that you're already there, instead of let's say putting some some pity, some judgment, some you're taking sides, whatever it is that you're putting there, is it helpful to them? No. But what can you put which is helpful to them? Maybe some prayers, some chanting. Today I'm going to do, I have nothing in my control, but today I'm going to sit and do some jap for that war. Is it a Kurukshetra war? Is it a war of dharma? No, it is not. People, when Mahabharata war was fought, it was fought, Krishna came into the world to reduce they say Bhubhara Harana. Bhubhara Harana means the world, the Bhumi had a lot of negative entities and it had become so populated. So she wanted to, she was feeling very heavy, energy wise also. So God came to reduce that. So, but that was a war of dharma versus adharma. Now tell me, in this dharma, adharma is not even there. So why do we invest in that war? People actually came, all the devatas, every single devata has come in the Mahabharata character, as a character. Everybody played a role to come and to witness that. It was so precious. But today we are not seeing that. So why do we have to even invest in that? I don't even read anything with respect to Israel because I don't have any contribution to that.
No, I don't have any pity or I don't blame anyone. I just want to know what is that I can do around. I only say
Do some job. In fact,
job.
I would say it will anyway take its own course. You invest in your own attachment to God more. In your reality. See, in somebody's reality, it is happening in their own country. In somebody's reality, it's happening in their neighboring country. In somebody's reality, it is happening and their relative is in that country. In somebody's reality, it is just in the news. In your reality, maybe you're not seeing the news or maybe occasionally seeing the news. So what do you want your reality to be? It will become based on that. So your reality can be absolute bhakti and this and that everywhere. Or just be your family, the people who are working with you, satsang, swadhyay, those things. Days together, you may not even get any news about the work. That can be your reality. because everything is happening everywhere. But what are you wishing to invest in? That is what matters. If you see, let's say some amount of war is coming to your thing, it means that much of investment you've already made to that energy. Curiosity is there, no? Why do we get into such things? Means suddenly, let's say Facebook or Instagram or something will show that, or maybe Google News itself will show something. Then what do? We click on that button, on that link, and then we read. Then the algorithm will send us more of it. That is how we invest in that energy. Lots of things are happening in the world. Before this, I'm sure other wars were happening. Some small things were happening. In Africa, so every other time also people are fighting. Naxal wars are happening. So many things are happening. Just because it is in the news doesn't mean it is not. Not in the news, it doesn't mean it's not happening. It may not be in our news, our reality news. It is happening in somebody else's news. It is like, let's say if you're in the government or something, lots of such things will come to your attention. So it depends on what I have to learn from comes to me based on my karma. At that time, I can accept that that much of energy was invested. That's why this much of thing is coming to me. Now I can say, I'm going to put some ego fasting and then invest in God. Replace that part with God. See, God doesn't mean puja, gija all the time. God also means that thinking that He's the one making all of this happen is also investing in God. See, His puja doesn't mean always in the group, I think I mentioned sometime, Navavida Bhakti. Let me just quickly, just a minute. I don't have by heart, so. Okay. Hearing to God's stories, all of that is also puja. Singing or chanting and doing such things is also puja. Remembering Him constantly through your cooking, you're talking to your children, let's say you're interacting with somebody, you can think about Him, no? Oh, this is what He's doing. In the class, we heard that He's the one who's first taking the experience. So if I'm getting this conversation that let's say both of you may be having conversation. Oh, if I'm hearing this, maybe He's hearing it first and then giving me the experience. So this is also remembering about God. God. Then they say Pada Sevanam, which means when you're serving your people at home or any devotees of God or even God Himself in the puja room, that is Pada Sevanam. Archana means typical ritual worship. Then salutations. How are we in humility when we think about God? Vandanam. Vandanam, Namaskaram, there is a difference. When we do Namaskaram, it is like you're bowing down to the other person, the God within the other person. Vandanam means I am totally surrendered to you. That is Vandanam. Then there is also Dasyam.
दे दिया वो जो नहीं दे रहा था उन्हीं को वाले दे रहा फ्रूट दे देता क्या तो फ्रूट दे क्या हाँ तो क्या चीज डालते फ्रूट क्या अंगूर दे तू और हाँ क्या
Were you able to hear me?
No, I just thought my phone का problem है. And
No.
then I thought it was
Until what?
even
Until what time you all heard me? Because suddenly I was seeing somewhere and talking, and see here the mic was showing some error.
Just a couple of minutes back, Smita.
when
Did I tell about Navavida Bhakti and all that?
you were talking
Yes,
about that one. Yeah.
yes.
So basically, what I was trying to tell is in that 9 types of bhakti, it covers every kind of relationship that people have towards God. It can be friendship, it can be puja, it can be rituals, it can be just pally relationship, it can be anything. Just remembering God, seeing Him in everything, remembering when we are remembering the teachings about God and all that, are practicing acceptance. Obviously, we're thinking about Him only, no? So in everything, when the mind is thinking about God, then doing some action like this, then it is we are doing puja only. So this is how eventually that purity will come within, and that consciousness will also start to increase. Try, I mean, I can only keep telling. Like I said, teacher will tell. I mean, I'm not the teacher. I'm just going to typically how in school teacher will tell. We have to believe. You have that true, that wisdom will come. Wisdom to apply on your own will come. Initially, we'll just be following what the teacher says. How to do this problem, apply this formula. Then as you keep applying the formula, you will get some innate, some intelligence that is very, very unique to you. And then it will work for you. It will come. And that is the Amrit in the knowledge. You just, they said, no, churning the butter. And this is the butter. Okay. Chalo, no, I was not on some issue. Some issue was there. Okay. Chalo, take care. Be blessed. Shri Krishna Arpanamastu.
Thank you.